Hey, you guys, this is Sky Juice coming to you live and direct from the beautiful island of Puerto Rico. And I am here with H. Cortez Thornton. And I just wanted to give you a little background information on this interview slash info session, whatever you want to call it. Basically, my whole platform right now is getting out the rat race and helping people to achieve abundance, health, and wealth, and living their dream life, and doing so predominantly from their home, where they can just, create wealth, create abundance, make some money, however you want to call it, where they can stop working a regular just over broke, and let that money hit the account while they're sleeping. And so that is my vision, that's my plan, and it is working. So when you have a vision and you start moving forward towards it, the universe responds. So I just found this amazing platform that I just thought was super brilliant, and it was through Cortez that I found this information, and I contacted him. I said, well, I want to interview you and get people to hear what it is, because I just think that it is, something that a lot of people really don't understand, and people just live in debt. They just, and this society creates this, gotta have more, gotta get in debt, gotta be broke, living from bill to bill collectors calling. I mean, that's just the reality of so many people I know, and how we joke about it, that when someone calls your house with your full name, it's a bill collector. I mean, just the lifestyle of abundance, that is not going towards abundance. You know what I'm saying? So tell us what how to get out of debt, or some of the ideas you share, and things we've talked about, and that you share and that you teach. So give me a little synopsis of that particular deal.
Okay, awesome. Well, first of all, thanks, Guy, for having me. If you're like me, then my audience, my tribe is sacred, and I don't put anybody in front of my audience and my tribe unless their information is tried, tested, and proven. So thank you for allowing me to speak with your audience. Real quick, I'll just tell you a little bit about myself. I am a husband of just over 16 years, father of 5 beautiful sons, an author, wealth building strategist, and entrepreneur. And basically, I am also known as what I coined myself as, a financial health mentor to the working class. And the reason that's important to me is because, in my opinion, the working class gets the short end of the stick. If there's anybody on this planet that deserves to be wealthy, it's the working class, right? Over the last 14 to 16 months or so, I've helped nearly 30 families get on the road to financial success with some of the strategies that we teach. And most recently, I helped a single father increase his cash flow by $500 per month and put him on a debt elimination plan based on that new influx of cash. But for me, it was not always this easy. I am the fourth born of 6 children, and was raised by a single mom on welfare, so I know what it's like to struggle. So when we're talking about poverty, it strikes a deep chord with me, because I lived it, I experienced it, and now to come to a place where I understand money, or the importance of having a money plan, and how to overcome a lot of the financial challenges that most working class people find themselves in. I feel it's my duty to share this with as many people as possible. So as you know, we've talked at length, and we basically have a simple platform and program that allows anyone who's willing to plug in, exercise some discipline, take advantage of a few simple strategies that are available to everybody, but not many people know about them, and not even fewer people actually implement them in their lives. So we teach what's called a strategy called income shifting, right? There's a couple entities that are robbing you of your money before you even see it, especially when you work a traditional job. And that's why I love what you do and trying to help people get out of the rat race. Well, one of the ways that you can get out of that rat race is understanding the system that you're caught up in. All right. So as we all live day to day, we're trying to meet two primary objectives. We're trying to eat today, at the same time save a little money so that we can eat tomorrow or have something to retire on to maintain our lifestyle in our golden years. Well, there's four entities that's stopping us from doing that, or four challenges. Number one is inflation. The cost of living is always going up because the money system that we use, the debt is always, the dollar is always losing value. But that's another conversation for a different day. Number two is debt. We're going to talk a lot about some strategies to overcome this particular challenge, because if you can overcome this one, you can create a snowball effect to really overcome the others as well. And then the third challenge is taxes. And the fourth challenge is a limited financial IQ. Because we have such a low financial IQ, we don't have enough income producing assets, or we don't know how to accumulate enough income producing assets. So if time forbids or permits, we will talk a little bit about that. But really, when it comes to debt, you basically have two choices. You either lower your expenses or your lifestyle, or you make more money. All right. Well, we've come up with a platform that allows you to do both simultaneously. Yes, lowering your income is lowering your expenses is fine, but believe it or not, Sky, so many people are already living on the bare bones minimum. There's nothing else to cut out of the budget. I mean, there's just not. So that's one thing, and then the other thing is to make more money, right? You either lower your expenses or make more money, or do both. We have a simple platform that allows you to do both. And we have a simple strategy that we call 369 Financial Transformation that will help you get on the road to financial success. In the first 3 months or less, we'll show you how to improve your cash flow. And the second phase, 6 months or less, we want to show you how to use this platform and develop some business income. And then third, and 9 months or less, we want to help you take the money that you get from cleaning up your cash flow, take the money from developing business income, and then teach you how investments work so you can start putting money to work for you. So hopefully I didn't ramble on too long and with that introduction, but that's some of the things that we're going to talk a little bit about today, if that's okay with you.
Okay, well, that's good. I think that does sound comprehensive, but let's just cut it up into like three pieces. So what is the first step you're saying to do?
Okay, so the first thing that we need to do, we talked about those of you who are literally at bare bones minimum. You don't have anything to cut. All right, so we have to infuse some cash into your life. Well, it starts with getting money back from the entities that are getting it from you. The first thing we do is help people understand how to minimize their taxes. Now, of course, there are all sorts of taxes. We're taxed on our property. We're taxed on our personal property. We're taxed for Social Security, FICA, and all of those things. But of all of those taxes, there is one tax that we have control of if you're working a traditional job, and that is your income tax, right? We literally tell our employer how much money to withhold from our paychecks each and every pay period to set aside to cover our tax liability. Well, the IRS has released 2 or 3 different memos that basically state that of the millions of people who are filing taxes, most of them have their W-4 form filled out incorrectly. As a result, they're overpaying their taxes, right? So if we can help you understand that you're overpaying your taxes, if you fall into one of those, that 80%, right? Because 8 out of 10 people are overpaying their taxes. That's why they get refunds. If you fall into that category, we can help you adjust your W-4 form so that it is filled out correctly. And in 8 out of 10 cases, the people that we coach and mentor and plug into our platform bring home an additional $200 to $400 per month based on correctly adjusting that W-4 form so that they're not overpaying taxes all year long. So that's step number one. Once we adjust that W-4 form and you get an increase in your take-home pay on your job, that starts the snowball effect where we encourage you to exercise the discipline that you need, and you don't take that extra money and go buy a new handbag. You don't take that extra money and upgrade your car, get a new living room set. You take that extra money and start getting back the money from the second entity that's getting it from you, which is the banks. So if you got an extra $200 to $400 coming in, it just makes sense to put that extra money towards your credit card debt, towards your student loan debt, towards your car note, towards your mortgage, whatever debt that you're carrying. We want to help you eliminate that debt using that extra influx of cash. Because what you have to realize is that every time you pay off a debt completely, it's almost as if you're giving yourself a pay raise, right? We all know that the way the interest rates are set on most debts, we're not really paying the debts off to begin with. We're just paying to manage the debt. Well, guess what? If you're paying $100 a month to manage the debt on a couple credit cards, well, if you pay that debt in full using the money you get back from Uncle Sam, then that's just the equivalent of giving yourself a $100 a month pay raise, right? So we add that to the money that we got back from Uncle Sam, and we start tackling another debt. And we do this in a very systematic approach so that you will come out at the end of this process where you will find yourself with all of your bills paid and still money left over. And that's where you go into phase two, where you start looking at creating an emergency fund for yourself. Once you eliminate your debt, once you create your emergency fund and you're still finding yourself with $500, $600, $700, $1,000 after all of your bills are paid, then we start talking about how investments work and what you want to do with that money. So that's step number one, or phase number one, is to minimize your taxes, eliminate your debt, and then minimize your expenses so that your cash flow now is positive and not negative. Most people are living in a negative cash flow cycle. So we want to flip that from negative to positive in 90 days or less. And believe it or not, most people get that done relatively quickly in the first 2 months, so roughly 60 days if they're super, super disciplined.
Okay, that was my question, is how long does that take? So, all right, so that would be about a 90-day program for them to reorganize their money, their taxes, paying bills. They're not necessarily paying that off, but they're like restructuring how they pay. Is that what you're saying?
Well, we teach that you actually do pay the debt off. So for instance,
within 90 days?
Yeah, it depends on where you are with your W-4 situation. All right. I recently helped a young man, a single father, increase his income by $500 per month. Right. So he was managing credit cards, paying the minimum payment like we typically do, and that's what they want us to do, pay the minimum payment, because that principal just continues to grow. Well, he fortunately wasn't tens of thousands of dollars in debt. That extra $500 in the first 60 days wiped out 2 credit cards completely. So now the money that he was using to manage that debt also comes back into his household each and every month. And he has a better understanding of what the credit card interest rate was doing to his cash flow. So now he's putting himself in position to, instead of pay interest on a credit card or on debt, to start earning interest by using that money to invest. So yes, you definitely want to start paying off debt. And we typically look at your complete debt profile versus your income versus your lifelong goals, and take you through a scenario where we say, okay, here are all of your debts. What are some of the lower debts that can be paid off completely? And we start with the lowest debts all the way up to the highest debts. A lot of people will look at it the other way and say, attack the highest interest rate debt first. And what we find is people who attack debt and play it off completely, they get so stoked and psyched up because they see a plan working that they're going to stick with the plan. Sometimes you attack your debt that has the highest interest rate, but it also has the highest balance. So you're throwing extra money at it, but you don't see that debt reducing. So you get discouraged after a couple months of doing that, and then you fall off the wagon. But if I can take one of your smaller debts, maybe you have a store charge card of $300 or $400, and we wipe that off completely. Now you're going to be a little bit more excited about continuing this process and staying on the plan. So that's the way we teach people to attack their debt with the extra windfall of money that they get from Uncle Sam.
So that would be what? Part one?
That would be phase one. All right. Mm-hmm. Minimizing taxes, eliminating debt, and minimizing your expenses. That would be phase one. Now, if you get good at our strategies and what we do, then we plug you into our platform so that you can also share your testimony with others and introduce them to the platform, putting you in what's called a home-based business. Two reasons for that. Number one, most of us are at a position in our lives where we have been working for a good amount of time and have not saved money adequately enough to put us where we want to be in a retirement account. So a lot of us got some catching up to do. Well, what's the best way to do that catching up? Number one, you're going to get the influx of cash from reducing your taxes, adjusting your W-4 form, minimizing your expenses, paying off debt. That's great. But for a lot of us, because we got so much catching up to do, we could use some extra cash coming from business income. So we plug you into our system and teach you how to introduce these concepts to others, because we know that 8 out of 10 people are drowning in debt. We know that 60 to 75% of the baby boomers won't have enough money for their retirement. So we have what we call a product that appeals to everybody, and that's a financial plan or a money plan. So we teach this concept to others, and we pay you for that. So you can earn, by plugging into our business system and teaching these concepts to others, unlimited commissions of $25, $50, and $500 bonuses, as long as you understand how to share and communicate these concepts to others and plug them in to our system. So that's how we infuse the cash to help you in one capacity. The other capacity is the fact that we all know that businesses pay fewer taxes than regular employees. Well, when we put you in a home-based business, that lets you further reduce your tax liability, because a lot of your everyday common household expenses will become legal, legitimate, ethical, and moral tax deductions. So in other words, by having a home-based business, you get to write off a large percentage of your lifestyle, which will reduce your tax liability anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 off the bat.
So I guess my situation, I have to, I guess, speak with you or one of the people in the organization, because I have a home-based business already. So I have to figure out how, I have debt too. So I have to figure out how what I'm doing can be
Yeah.
So I probably need to make that appointment. Is it a one-on-one kind of?
Yeah, we actually do most of our trainings for individuals who share this opportunity. If you plug into the Young Wealth Builders team, which I'm a part of, we typically bring our newbies in, is what we call them, and we do one-on-one counseling, one-on-one orientation, one-on-one mentorship. But we also do small group mentorship via Google Hangouts like this, team conference calls, and things like that. But for the most part, yes, if you have a home-based business, you want to understand the tax code. See, poor people make Uncle Sam their enemy. Wealthy people, Uncle Sam is their best friend, because they know that Uncle Sam will not only allow them to build their wealth, Uncle Sam will also help them protect their wealth. And that's what we teach people, in addition to how to make money with this system, but also how to protect your wealth, how to minimize your tax liability, how to properly record your tax deductions and your expenses. Real quick, I'll give you the 5 top home business tax deductions that everybody should be recording. Number 1 is the business use of your home. I see you have a lovely office that you work out of in your home. Well, that now makes a lot of the expenses that you have for your home tax deductible, because your home office is there. Number 2 is business use of your vehicle. So if you're driving to appointments for business, if you're going to the market because you express that you are a raw food chef. So every time you go to the market to pick up supplies to make some of those dishes, that mileage is tax deductible because you're going to the store not for personal but for business. I have to look up the standard tax rate for miles this year. Last year was 57.5 cents, so I'm sure it's gone up just a little bit. But that's mileage on your vehicle that a lot of people don't take advantage of that deduction. Deduction number 3 would be meals and entertainment. You throw parties for people to come sample some of the things that you prepare so that you can acquire business. Well, all the supplies that you use when you throw those parties now make those supplies tax deductible because you're not buying them from your home, you're buying them to promote your business. Also, when you're entertaining guests and clients outside of the home, you take one of your potential clients out to lunch. Well, that's a meal that is tax deductible. Maybe you provide tickets to a show for one of your prospects. That's entertainment. So the cost of that ticket is tax deductible. So number 3 is meals and entertainment. Number 4 is business travel. All right. You're down in Puerto Rico now. I know you travel up to the East Coast and taking care of business. Well, all of that mileage and those expenses, the hotel stays, the rental cars, the airfare, all of that is tax deductible if those are legitimate business trips. So you're making appointments to go talk about business, acquire clients on your route, then that makes that trip a business expense. And then number 5, my favorite of them all, because I have 5 sons, right, is paying wages to your children. My children no longer get allowances. They have work to do in my business, and I pay them a wage. 2 reasons. Number 1, they can earn their first $6,300 tax-free. Number 2, any wage that I pay as an employer to my son as an employee is tax deductible for me. So imagine someone like myself with 5 kids, that's $6,300 per year per kid that I can pay and minimize my taxes, even if I have a traditional full-time job. Well, those losses in my home-based business can be applied against my salary on my job and reduce my taxable income from my job wages as well. So understanding the tax code, making Uncle Sam your best friend is just another strategy that we teach on your way to eliminating debt so that you can ultimately live your dreams.
I have 5 children too, by the way.
Oh, well, cool, cool, awesome.
Well, that's good. I think this is a good intro because I know tax information, and when you start getting into it deep, I have to take it very slowly.
Gotcha.
It's not necessarily my forte, but I know it's important, you know?
Exactly.
So basically, the next step for folks is I have feedback. Can you mute? Oh, you did. Okay, good. So basically, the next step for folks who are interested in learning more about, you know, getting out of debt and getting this tax situation set up is to contact me, and I will plug you in to the Financial Wealth Builders. What is it? Did I say it right? Young Financial.
Young Wealth Builders. It's
Okay.
Young Wealth Builders.
We are young. Still.
Young Wealth Builders. That's right. We are young.
We're gonna keep it young.
We're
Keep it young and
claiming
fresh. But yeah, if you guys are interested in getting this information, I think it's really important. I mean, you know, so many people waste their money on bills, on debt, on stuff. Paying the minimum on a credit card bill, people should know that that's just not acceptable. You know, I mean, you're not gonna get ahead doing stuff like that. And people are really financially, is it okay to say financially ignorant? And if the more you know about how to be smart about your money and learn how to keep your money more for yourself, for your family, it's just going to be a better life for you. So thank you, Cortez. I really appreciate this. Any last words you want to share on how to make this happen?
Sure, Sky. I did 4 things, guys. Now keep in mind, I told you in my intro that poverty really was something that I had to deal with as a child. And I made the determination that I wasn't going to put my children in that position. Well, guess what? Not having a money plan calls me. And when I learned about this information that I'm sharing with you now, I was literally 6 months behind on my mortgage, in foreclosure. Bankruptcy was not an option because I had just recently filed a bankruptcy. So I was coming out of bankruptcy, right? I was struggling financially, but I did 4 things that I would recommend anybody listening to us live or even via the recording or whatever the case is. The first thing I did is I changed my mind. Guys, you have to put different information in if you want a different output. So I changed my mindset. I started listening to audios on wealth building principles and strategies. I stopped chasing the dollars and start chasing the knowledge that will lead me to the dollars. And that was big. The second thing that I did, the moment that I started changing my mindset, I immediately realized that something else had to change. And that was my associations. Because when I started thinking about wealth building strategies, I started seeing myself as being wealthy. Negative people start bugging me. So I had to change my association. That was the second thing I did. The third thing I did was I found a system, right? I found a system that fit me. There's all kinds of systems out here for building wealth, making money, and all that kind of stuff. Well, I found a system that fit me because I'm not a salesperson. So I couldn't do sales. I wasn't interested in that. But I found a system that I could plug into, and each and every month my financial situation got better because of that system. Then the fourth thing I did, even though things were going in the right direction when I found that system, what put the icing on the cake is when I found a mentor. So I found a mentor within that system that was doing what I wanted to do, had the success that I wanted to have, and I asked him what I needed to do to have him coach me, to have me ride his coattails, to have me plug into all the things that he was doing. And he gave me one simple directive. He said, produce. I said, all right, I can handle that. If I get out and produce, then that will buy me time with you, and you will show me everything that you need to do, that I need to do to continue on this path. And not only just continue, but to accelerate my growth on this path. And that worked out for me. So guys, if you are serious about getting out of debt, if you are serious about getting out of the rat race, if you are serious about living a life of abundance and prosperity, contact Sky. Let her know that you want to know more about our Young Wealth Builders team and our Financial Success membership, and we can get you plugged in. And I guarantee you that you will change your mind if you hang around us, because we don't allow otherwise. All right, you will find a system that works for you, because this system is just versatile enough for people who are working traditional jobs and need to do this part-time, people who have other businesses and want to incorporate this, people who have traditional brick and mortar businesses but don't have a money strategy. It doesn't matter where you are, how you're making your money. Everybody's got to have a money strategy. And if you don't have one, plugging in with the Young Wealth Builders will help you in that capacity. And then I guarantee that you will get good mentorship, because the Leadership Council within the Young Wealth Builders team is all about the success, development, and growth of everybody on the team. And we rally around each other, we push each other, we motivate each other, and we want to see each other win. So definitely get with Sky, ask her about the Financial Success membership. I'm sure she's got some additional information that she can plug you into to give you a broader overview of what it is that we do. And if you want to plug in with us, great. We'd love to have you.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. That was awesome. And definitely I'll post my information. And thanks, Cortez. I will be in touch with you very soon.
Also, oh, and we forgot, guys, if you don't plug in with us, at the very least, take advantage of a free copy, a free PDF copy of my book, Financial Health Traffic Report. I lay out in this book, it's a really short read. In this book, I lay out the strategies that you can use to overcome all of these 4 challenges that are keeping us from hitting our financial destinations, as well as the game plan that you can use. It's laid out in that book. But guys, you can read the book, or you can actually run with the people who are exercising the knowledge in that book. So just wanted to throw that out there too. I know we're right at the top of the hour. Thanks a lot, Sky, again, for allowing me to speak to your audience, because I know I don't put anybody in front of my tribe unless they're tried and proven and tested.
Absolutely. All righty. Well, we'll be you'll be hearing from me, and hopefully some folks will be hearing from me through to you. So talk to you soon. Peace.